In this video, I'll show you the latest, best settings for Rust that will boost your FPS, reduce stutters and improve input latency. I tested all these settings across multiple systems, including low-end PCs and even laptops, and by the end of this video, you will get higher and more consistent FPS, less input delay, and an overall more responsive system without having to spend any money to upgrade your PC. Also, I've included timestamps in the description below, so you can go right to the PvP settings for maximum FPS, or check the optimal settings for mid or high-end PCs. And now, let's get to the first step. Before starting any optimization, I highly recommend saving your current config, so you can restore your settings if something goes wrong. To do this, open Steam, go to Installed Files, Browse, and copy CFG folder to your desktop. If you don't like the settings that I will show you, or if you just want to get back to your old settings, just drag your old CFG folder into Rust folder and click Replace the files. This will bring back your old settings. Now open the game, type benchmark into the console and test your current settings. This is Rust built-in benchmark, which will show you the most accurate FPS in a variety of scenes, biomes and environments, from clan raids and PvP to casual roaming around the map. Thanks to this benchmark, you can find out your actual FPS under the most extreme conditions and at maximum load, something you wouldn't be able to do on a regular server. You'll need this to compare your FPS before and after the optimization, so you can see whether these settings helped you or not. The first step will instantly boost your FPS by at least 20%, especially if you're playing on a low-end PC. But you will have to sacrifice image quality. You have two options here. Either lower your resolution but still use 16:9 or make a custom 4:3 resolution. In the first case, just go to the Screen tab and change your resolution to 1600 by 900. This will instantly boost your performance by at least 40 FPS, and the image quality won't be that bad. Even if you have a good PC, make sure to try this trick. This will make your game feel buttery smooth. In the second case, you need to make a custom resolution, and here you have another three options. Depending on how wide you want your game to be, you can choose three resolutions. The first one is 7028 by 1080. It will make your game a bit wider, making hitting targets a lot easier, and it will also slightly increase your FPS. The next one is Classic 1440 by 1080. This will give you really wide screen and way more FPS. And the last resolution for those who have a really bad GPU. It's 1280 by 1080. This resolution will give you the maximum FPS without making your game feel too horrible. So, if you're using something like a 1080 Ti, make sure to try this res. To apply these custom resolutions, you need to open a new Nvidia app. Go to Systems tab, then find Display Properties and click Customize Resolutions. In this tab, click on the Add button and create the resolution you want. Next, just find your new resolution in this window and click the Save Changes button. That's it. Before we get to the game settings, let me show you today's sponsor, Rust. We've all had that one player on the server who seems way too suspicious. You try to check their Steam profile, but of course it's private. That's where Rust comes in. With their detective search, Rust can pull up useful player info from multiple different sources, even when a Steam account is private. You can search things like hours, stats, server bounds and name history, giving you a much clearer picture of who you're dealing with. And the best part? You can also access it from in-game by linking your account, letting you search players without ever having to leave Rust. Go check out Rust and use my code STELIC to get 10 free advanced searches. And now, back to the video. For the next step, let's change some settings that won't affect your game's performance, but can give you a slight advantage over other players, as well as a small increase in FPS. First, change the field of view to the maximum value, to see more of what's happening at the edges of your screen. Make sure the head bob and hard punch options are disabled, and you can leave the rest of the settings in this section as they are. Next, change nudity to underwear. Turn off all other settings in this section, except for show blood. In the Physics tab, set max gips to 0. Then open the console by pressing the F1 button and type effects.maxgips-1. Now, when you destroy any building blocks or deployables, you won't see any particles. which can give you a huge advantage during a raid, when you blow up a door or a wall. And also, disable both RGB settings. In the audio tab, just be sure to mute the in-game music, so it won't distract you. And put the master volume higher than the game sounds volume to hear headshots with bass boost. In the user interface tab, first lower the user interface scale, so it doesn't take half of your screen, and change the crosshair to whatever you want. I prefer a dot. Also, make sure to enable hide text while in ADS. This setting moves the text while you're aiming, which is really helpful. Now, let me show you the most optimal graphic settings for mid and high-end PCs. In the Screen tab, select the maximum available resolution. If you have a really good GPU, like 4070 Ti and above, and a 1080p screen, you should consider buying a 2K monitor. Most of the time, your GPU isn't running at full capacity, so you're losing performance. And changing to a 2K monitor can give you even more FPS than what you're getting on a Full HD screen. Plus, you will have way better picture quality. Next, make sure that screen mode is set to full screen. Set the FPS limit to the maximum value. If you have stutters, you can try changing the FPS limit to the refresh rate of your screen. This will allow you to get rid of stutters and breaks in image display, making your game much smoother and more stable. Next, turn off these two settings and turn on Limit FPS in menu. In the Graphics tab, set the render scale to 1. If you set it to the minimum value, your game will look terrible. Set the shadow level option to 3. This is the most optimal value for this setting. Turn off Nvidia DLSS and Nvidia DLIA. Enable Nvidia Reflex mode and disable Nvidia Reflex Latency marker. Set the pixel light count, max shadow lights and particle raycast budget to the lowest values. Enable soft particles and make sure to disable clouds. If this setting is enabled, you will immediately lose about 20 and sometimes even 30 FPS, a completely useless option. Set the draw distance to the maximum value. If you have a good PC, it won't affect your FPS. Water reflections and water quality are two settings that consume a lot of FPS, so make sure to disable them, even on a high-end PC. Grass displacement. Always enable this setting. This will make it easier for you to find weapons and other items in the grass, and disable precise terrain billboards. Texture quality. Just use half resolution. It won't lower your FPS too much, but the textures will be way more beautiful. Anisotropic filtering mode and level. Just turn off the settings and forget about them. Parallax mapping can lower your FPS, so make sure to disable it as well. Set the shadow quality to medium. This is the most balanced settings for shadows. It won't reduce your FPS too much and will make the shadows look sharp. Set the decor quality, grass quality and terrain quality to 0. Max tree meshes and tree quality are two settings that work together. Set the tree meshes to 100 and tree quality to 150. In this case, you will get the best image quality without losing too much FPS. Set the object quality to 100. This will make the textures of buildings much better. Load bias set to 1. This is the only correct value for all PCs. And finally, set the particle quality to 0. In the Image Effects tab, just use these options if you want to have a beautiful image. As for anti-aliasing, you will have to find the right setting yourself. In most cases, it's best to just turn the setting off, but you can try using FXIA anti-aliasing. And finally, in the Experimental tab, enable the first and last options, and disable the second option. Also, set the GC buffer to the maximum value. The more memory you allocate for this, the less stutters you will have when you run around the map. Here's a fast review of the optimal settings for mid and high-end PCs. If you are a true PvP chat, or you are playing on a really bad PC, or you just want to squeeze every FPS possible out of your system, here are the best PvP settings for you. First, change the resolution to 1600 by 900 or to a custom 4x3 resolution, depending on your preferences. Set the FPS limit to the maximum value and go to the Graphics tab. Here you need to change the preset to the lowest. Render scale set to max, shadow level to min, Nvidia Reflex mode on plus boost, and the rest of the settings should be disabled. Draw distance set to 1500 and disable the rest of the settings in this section. Texture quality set to quarter resolution if your GPU can handle it. If you are playing on a complete potato, set it to 8th resolution. And set the rest of the settings to the lowest values, except for tree quality and load bias. You need to set the tree quality to 28 and load bias to 1. In the Image tab, disable everything except for sharpening and vignetting. And in the Experimental tab, set the GC buffer to the maximum value and enable these two settings. As you can see, the graphics quality won't be the same as with the optimal settings, but you'll get a much higher and stable FPS. So, you have two options to choose from to see which settings work best for you. Also, if you have any lags or stutters while playing Rust, especially when you move your mouse, that's because your polling rate is too high. For some reason, the Unity engine can't handle a polling rate of more than 1000 Hz. So, if you have an 8K Hz mouse or keyboard, you need to download the official software and lower the polling rate to 1K Hz. This will fix all your stutters. And finally, let me show you how to optimize your GPU in the new Nvidia app. First, open the System tab, go to the Scaling section, select Full Screen, then GPU, and enable Override the Scaling mode. If you want your game to be more colorful and vibrant, scroll to the bottom of the page and change the digital vibrance to 100%. Also, if you want to see better at night, you can change gamma and brightness to the maximum values. This will make it a lot easier to play at night. Next, go to the Graphics tab and open Global Settings. First, make sure to enable Low Latency mode. You can also try to use an Ultra option, but only if you have a decent GPU. Next, change Power Management to perform maximum performance. This option keeps your GPU running at a high clock speed at all time. This prevents your GPU from slowing down and speeding up from time to time, which can cause some lags or stutters. And finally, if you have enough storage space, make sure to change the shader cache size to unlimited. This will also help you to get rid of stutters. Now, I want you to go back into Rust, run the benchmark again, and write in the comments below your PC specs, your FPS before optimization, and your FPS after the optimization, so other people can compare the results. If your FPS has increased, please hit that like button below, so that more people can see this video. Also, I'm planning to make a full guide on how to optimize your system for gaming, including Windows tweaks, internet optimization, and other stuff. So, if you're interested in such a video, let me know in the comments. And if you want to know even more about Rust, then I've compiled over 100 tips and tricks for Rust and put them all in this one video. The tips cover everything from the beginner level to high-level advanced stuff. So there is guaranteed to be something here to improve your game.